All right, Shalom. I'm gonna say call Halam La Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakadash, as all praise to the Most High God, who people call Jesus, God, whose true name is Yahweh in the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue, and the name of his son Yahweh Shai, who people call Jesus, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. Much respect, biblical love to the brothers pushing and teaching this truth. Hopefully, the elect of those awakening. Brothers, like I said, teaching this truth across the four corners of the globe, truthfully, sincerely. Start with the brothers here, onward to the brothers at the Great Millstone Church. Much respect and biblical love, chiefly salutations to the elder apostles and elder bishops. Those of you being awakened, shalom. So yeah, the puppets. Um, as you can see, they still talking about this. And it's not to, keep going on it, but it's, really to stay on we just, living our day to day, keeping our eyes open, seeing what's going on. So here you are 8 hours ago as of today being what? April 29th, 2025, so called Tuesday. And here you are, Esau still pushing this narrative he want to spin to Jake, certain narratives he want to spin to Jake, to people, to America across the globe through his wicked media, all right, his middlemen. Ultimately, the doing the bidding of truly of the elite, because they fund all this crap. But nonetheless, if they like here, if you don't hear from us, let our puppets tell you, and it never fails. It was none but Edomites with their face plastered all over the hate and narration they trying to push out to people. They want people to see, and they still stuck on it. The situation over, the boy drafted, and it is what it is, but yet they still talking about it. He's done, he's over with it. He's drafted, he done spoke to his team, the city he'll be playing for, local reporters on his mindset, and he's just willing to get there and work. But here they are still talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they're trying to paint something, and they do this with everything. So that's more so what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? We be staying vigilant and letting everything work to our good. You know what I'm saying? Like discerning all things every day, all day. It don't stop. The devil, doing what he do best. But nonetheless, again, they're like, if you don't just hear from us, let you tell you, So here it is. They put so-called two black faces in the middle of their mess, puppets. Ultimately for the purpose of what? Damage control. And I'm not even going to hit play on the video. If you want to go watch it, you can go watch it. They still talking about Shedeur Sanders should not have turned down interviews with NFL teams when they already done said, right, supposedly, that he just wasn't good enough to begin with. The media, which they actually are of, hyped him up. So what's the big deal that he got drafted if he done slipped? Because that's a lie. And why is it still a big deal that he supposedly slipped but didn't slip because he was never that good to go in the first round anyway? Why are y'all coming with reasoning and still talking about it? If it's simply that, why y'all coming with talking about he shouldn't have turned down interviews if it wasn't his talent, his lack of talent, that cost him, Why? Because that's not the case. And then they already said that while saying that reason, the reason why they said that, or the reason just twisted, just lost in their own damn sauce, man. It's because the teams don't want to deal with Dion. They don't want to deal with Dion being in the background and all that. So it just tell you the devil is a liar. So the more he keep doing, the more he keep with this crap We just keep exposing what it is we telling y'all, no matter over and over. It don't matter. It's all of the truth. It's all of the scriptures. You know, this is the shit going on, right now in front of a lot of simple jakes. You know, so it's a precursor. It's a reveal and a precursor. It's a reveal because it's showing you that there truly are sellouts amongst you jakes. Hence, all that be of Israel are not Israel. You know, and you can't deal with your people like that, man. You know, you can't trust Jake as far as you could throw him either. That's why it comes down to those that's in this truth. You know, because I want to say this too before I get into this. It's Salakia. I want you to know, right? You need to know if you don't know, right? You need to understand, clearly see this. It's before you can get to the point of being, as you see the Jake in the middle, right? Who appears to be a Jake in the middle, Tony Dungy, right? So-called black man, a so-called legendary coach, retired legendary coach. He's the former court coach of Peyton Manning. He was the coach of the Indianapolis Colts, right? The football team. Do you know the steps, the ladders that you gotta climb? The people that you gotta, like Shedeur Sanders, gotta win over. The things you must do, to become a coach in the NFL, which is much harder. A so-called being a black man, it's much harder than being a player, especially being a so-called black man, an Israelite. So you just automatically got to know, right, that it's codes you must follow, and the code, and there's codes of God you must break. Because the Lord already made that clear. So these dudes is puppets. Let's just get to this first scripture. Let's go here. All right. Let's go to Luke in the 8th chapter. Jump down to verse 8. Mark 8. And we're going to start let's start at 34. And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, right, let him deny himself, right, and take up his cross and follow me. Exactly. If you want to get this done, you want to follow the Messiah, you want what it is that he has, what comes of him, you want to be, someone that's, in the faith, you have to follow the codes. You got to put away things that you probably don't even agree with. You got to specifically, let's lay it out for what it actually is. You got to deny the things that's wicked and follow the things that's right. For starters, you got to get over yourself. You got to abstain from things that you could have that's lawful but may not be expedient. So forth and so on. You got to keep the code, right? Now, if that's what it takes for that, don't you think it's a protocol that you got to follow, right? A denying of yourself in order to end up, here as an Israelite, as a so-called black person, so-called Native American, Indian, so-called Latino, whatever the hell, right? Wouldn't you think it's some requirements and criteria you must fit and meet in these instances, in the place where you're hated, that's ran by the person that hates you the most, in the place of your oppressors? In order to come up, you gotta, yes sir, no sir. Yeah, boy, yeah, man. All of that, man. That shit ain't went away. You know? Yes, you would. You would. You should think that. And it's that case. So let's read on. It says, "For whosoever will save his life shall lose it." See that? For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. See that? If you can't, if you trying to, if you gonna get this, come after this, you're gonna have to lose some things. You're gonna have to sacrifice some things. You're gonna have to give up some things. And this world is giving up your integrity. And Yahweh Shai himself gonna tell you this. It says, but whosoever shall, he said, but whosoever for his shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's sake, and the gospels, the same shall save it. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world, right? By following the world, getting what, getting in the NFL, so for being a damn coach, for what shall it profit a man, right? Getting all those things and what come of it, getting the approval of those that like it, those that run it, whatever. Those that also want to be of it. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul So the Lord give you the breakdown on how this world works. So don't you think these mugs are done sold they soul, meaning what? That they take their soul out their dang body, some breath out of their mouth, and it's in a bottle somewhere. No, that's not what the Lord talking about. It's integrity. It's who they are. It's what they stand for. It's who they are as a person. Your people, they morals. They must-haves. That's what he mean. You give up those things to get so-called everything else, but you lose the very essence of who you are. You lose the God code. You go against God, being approved in the sight of the Heavenly Father. So these mugs are so-called analysts, right? For the things that Esau focuses on and want people to focus on in the way that he wants you to, in the way he see it, which is the way he wants you to see it. To get other people to see it that way. But let me read on. It says, or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? And the NLT meaning what? Is anything worth more than your soul? And that's what these dudes are. That's what they puppets for. So don't let these people sit here and bring all these damn, because now you finna start seeing more Jays come out the rule works, big bell pepper ass nose ass niggas, come out of the woodwork, brown faced niggas, woolly head ass niggas, nappy head niggas, high paid, goddamn idolized or esteemed ass niggas to try to sell you Esau shit. Cause it's easier for him to get it, for you to buy it when it's coming from somebody that look like you, and you think is right. Cause he done esteemed them, the devil himself. Well, the devil said he on point, you gotta be on point. But again, you done learned this man the devil, so what would make these people? This is John 8. I'm gonna jump to the point. I'm gonna get a couple, man. It ain't gonna be long. This is John 8. Then intend this to be long. All right, this is John 8, and I'm gonna jump to the point. Verse 41, ye do the deeds of your father. Ye do the deeds of your father, right? Then said he to them, then said they to him, we be born not of fornication. We have one Father, even God. All right. It says, Yahweh Shah said unto them, if God were your father, you will love me, for I proceed forth and came from God, Yahweh. So it's gonna be hard to get an Israelite to one that's truly of what it is to be an Israelite, one that's truly born of God, right? To get them to do things like what? Bear false witness. And especially do what? Bear false witness against, other Israelites. and matters obviously where they're innocent. That's Exodus 20 and 16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Those are things you might have to do. You know it ain't right, but this is what the topic is for today. So we're gonna have y'all go into it. Okay. You know, and when you listen to this devil, you could tell he's putting them on the spot. And then you have some people that get in the comments and say some stuff like, well, they work for them. Well, when you look up goddamn Rodney Harrison, and then you go into his background, he necessarily doesn't. He works for the NBC, but this is not the show he was hired to do. So they basically called them in to speak on this. They didn't call. You think they called up like, yeah, let us get on this. Let us talk about Shador. Let us talk about, this stuff y'all talk. Let us talk about. Do you think Tony Dungy did that? No, they called them and put them on spot. I said I wasn't gonna play it, but
hit on this Shador Sanders. This feels like we got to hit on this Shador Sanders. This feels like the right place to do it to me because
So that's showing you that he brought this up. It's all set up. And why do they got to keep reaching and figuring out what's going on when this channel is the NFL on NBC? Y'all know it's the NFL presented, so it's how they're using Jake. They're puppets. The NFL don't got to find out about what happened regarding something in the NFL. The NFL themselves. Do you think the NFL would have their name on this if they weren't involved in this? They know exactly what's going on. They just controlling the narrative that then got out, hence through their media. The NFL has their own media. All right. Anyway,
he slides all the way to the 5th round. We got to hit on this Shador Sanders. This feels like the right place to do it to me because he slides all the way to the 5th round, and there's 1,000,001 theories as to how and why this could have happened. And Coach,
how could that be possible if this is the NFL on NBC? They're the devil. So now they done put Jake on the spot. You want to keep that show? You want to keep that slot? Get that airtime? You want to stay? All right. We need you guys to speak on this, man. That's how they got here in the first place. They probably don't even want to. They probably shouldn't. They probably can't. So they're doing things that's against God's code, but there are the codes of Esau that they must follow in order to what? Profit. In the measly way they choosing to profit. In order to gain that world, in order to stay in that spot. In order to gain those lives of people that are on these shows in the NFL that's esteemed and blah, blah, blah. Let me grab this real quick. We're going to hold that. And we're going to get this. Real quick, Luke 16 and 15. And he said unto them, ye are they which justify yourselves before men. Ye are they which justify yourselves before men. So they're trying to come off like they got it all right. They, figured out. These mothers are goddamn hypocrites, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just the devil. Jake, wow, bro. It says, but God knoweth your hearts, for that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of God. Exactly. So these mothers come together with they little, little clubs, alumni, NFL alum, all this madness. NLT, it says, then he said to them, you like to appear righteous in public. See that? But God knows your hearts. For what this world honors is detestable in the sight of God because of what it go back to. What it's of, the substance of it. How these networks, these shows, this faction, this industry came together. What it's of, when it's running off of, which is lies, wickedness, murder. That's why the Lord said what? See if I can grab that. What's that? Habakkuk 2. Let's see. Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. See that? It is all full of robbery, full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not. You see that? So the bloody city is America. All right? Full of lies. The beautiful, country in people's eyes known as America. That's comprised of 50 states with cities throughout the states all over the country. That esteems all the factions and setups and institutions that the so-called white man made for everybody to, that these people try to chase and get in and get approved by, that go back to wickedness, slavery, lies, deceit, treachery, out of orderness, stuff being upside down, people being in places they shouldn't be, people trying to speak on things they can't, people lying, truth being twisted, things being pushed and sold to people that's not even something that should be going on. That's wicked. That's what these people are of. So you got to understand what it takes to get into these systems, these setups that help do all of this, that help make these scriptures true. Being someone that's the captive of this system. The backbone and battery and blood that fuels and powers, and satisfies the thirst of this system. How could you, being that very thing, be allowed to, because you're being that very thing for them just in a whole nother form. They feeding and leeching off these jakes, man. And y'all got to understand that. But I'm going to hit play.
One, theories as to how and why this could have happened. We got to hit on this Shedeur Sanders. This feels like the right place to do it to me because he slides all the way to the 5th round. And there's 1,000,001 theories as to how and why this could have happened. And Coach, one of the theories that gets brought up a lot is the interview process and that he didn't interview well with these teams. Take us inside that interview process and what that's like. What kind of questions? What's the dynamic? How does that all go down?
Yeah. Putting this on him.
And basically at the combine, you have 15 minutes to sit with the guys and you want to find out about them. And then the guys you're really interested in, you're going to go on campus or you're going to get somewhere and talk to them and interview with them. Shedeur didn't talk to everybody. And that to me was a mistake, number one. And then number two, you have to go sell yourself.
Now listen to what he said. He said it like it's up to the player after saying it's not up to the player, but up to the teams that are interested in certain players. So how would players be subject to talking to everybody? Or how would players talk to everybody? Just off of that. Which one is it? According to y'all, he wasn't even first round talent. So how the hell every team, according to the analysts, every team wasn't even looking at a quarterback. So how the heck we even talk to everybody? And then it's a job. You don't got to interview for somebody you don't want to interview. Who the hell y'all think this? What y'all think this is? But it's exactly what it truly is, and that's what? That's a slavery. Us being in subjection. All right? This is Jeremiah 22, Jeremiah 2:14. Is Israel a servant? See that? Is he a hornborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Right? In the NLT, the results of Israel's sin. Why has Israel become a slave? Why has he been carried away as plunder? See that? Strong lions have roared against him, and the land has been destroyed. The towns are in ruins, and no one lives in them anymore. All right? It says, Egyptians marching from their cities of Memphis and Tampanes have destroyed Israel's glory and power. You know, he can't see. That's what this is about. It's about him. It's an issue with him standing on his two and acknowledging he got two. When our iniquity is accomplished, I thought slavery was over, but it ain't, because we still subject to payments and so forth and so on. So this was all about a nigga not getting out of line. That's all this was. And they hate Dion because of what he's basically elevating Jake, being used to elevate Jake's mind to. Listen, we ain't back in them times no more. Y'all time is running out. And here it is. They think they're gonna keep this system by getting these cool niggas, these sellout ass niggas that's gonna die. Old bottle niggas. Like the Lord, like the Lord just won't put them to goddamn death. And he gonna put them to death. Let me grab that real quick. This is Isaiah 13 and 11. It says, matter of fact, 15. It says, everyone, let me start at 14. You know what? Yeah. Let's start at 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. They don't want him to act like a man, a true man. You know, it says, therefore I will shake the heavens and the earth shall remove out of her place. And then it says, in wrath of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. When he finally show y'all, he really sitting up there, man. He really here. It says, and it shall be as a chaste roe. And it shall be as a chaste roe. Meaning a damn weak ass little animal trying to flee from a predator, a lion, the king. Helpless. That's it. It says, and it shall be as a chaste roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. Exactly. A sheep with no shepherd, meaning no protection. Nothing, you out of there. It says, they shall everyone turn to his own people. When that time comes, people they're gonna go tuck their tail. It says, and flee everyone into his own land. They're gonna separate. They're gonna try to go in the hide. And then it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Y'all better separate from America while you can, man. That's the Lord saying. Because he said, everyone that is found shall be thrust through. That's everybody. He don't give a fuck if you a damn so-called Israelite. Like Yahweh Shah went on and said, which I didn't even finish getting that. He said, you are of your father the devil, man. I know you Abraham's seed, but you of your father the devil, because you do the lust of your father, man. All right? Just closing that out real quick. This is John 8 and 41. You do the deeds of your father. Then said to them, they to him, we be born out of fornication. We have one father, even God, even Yahweh. Yahweh Shah said unto them, if Yahweh was your father, ye will love me. For I proceeded forth and came from him, from Yahweh. You Israelites out here disrespecting each other. You disrespecting the word, things that go back to the word, things is people that's of the Lord's body. Not saying Shador is, because he's not. They're not in the truth. And it's not about that. It's about what is actually going on in the place that we are in. And that being shown and discerned to be shown for you brothers and sisters out there that believe, man. A few sisters. Few. Because I don't know damn sisters believe yet. Y'all time gonna come, like the Lord said, people gonna be willing in the day of their power. But anyway, it says, neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Right? Why do ye not understand my speech, even because ye cannot hear my word? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. See that? So he know who your father is. You act like him. See that? It says he was a murderer from the beginning, right? And abode not in the truth. See that? because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh they lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is the father of it. He is the father of it. And that's what y'all do. Y'all following this man, under this man's coattail, so forth and so on, man. Right? Of course it's messed up. But it's all good. Coming back here, Isaiah 13 and 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Everybody, man. That includes Jake. Lord not playing with y'all, man. And he gonna get y'all. Lord not, he don't give a goddamn is Jake. Your ass caught with these people, you gonna die. You doing the devil's bidding, you gonna die. All right? This is Jeremiah 25 and 15. For thus saith Yahweh, Bashmi al-Shah, God of Israel. See that? Unto me, right? Take the wine cup of this fury at my hand. The Lord pissed. He speak through people. So that's why we sound pissed at times. Because the Lord's energy coming through us. It says, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it. Right? And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send upon them. Then I took the cup at Yahweh's hand and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord has sent me, to wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah and the kings thereof. Right? Because the kings, right? Isaiah 9 and 16 says what? It says, for the leaders of this people caused them to err. See that? For the leaders of this people, his kings, right, caused them to err. And they that are led of them are destroyed. So you sitting back watching Tony Dungy, Rodney Harris, thinking this what you ought to be as a young prince, and it's not what you ought to be. He said, he's looking, now I want you to watch the damn man's face when he asks the question and then proceeds to watch them answer the question. It's like he got a gun, he waiting to pull the trigger. Look how he looking. This dude the devil, man.
He slides all the way to the fifth. We got to hit on this Shador Sanders. This feels like the right place to do it to me because he slides all the way to the fifth round. And there's 1,000,001 theories as to how and why this could have happened. And Coach, one of the theories that gets brought up a lot is the interview process and that he didn't interview well with these teams. Take us inside that interview process and what that's like. What kind of questions? What's the dynamic? How does that all go down?
Yeah, and basically at the combine, you have 15 minutes to sit with the guys, and you want
to see how you looking at them,
find out about them, and then the guys you're really interested in, you're going to go on campus or you're going to get somewhere and talk to them and interview with them. Shador didn't talk to everybody, and that to me was a mistake, number one. And then number two, you have to go sell yourself, and you have to.
You gotta go sell yourself. Don't that sound familiar? Don't that sound familiar? But people be like, come on, man. Israelites ain't supposed to goddamn be selling themselves. It is what it is, man. This is Deuteronomy 28, since y'all want to change this and put it in a different translation in the 68th verse in the NLT. The Lord Yahweh will send you back to Egypt in ships to a destination I promise you will never see again. There you will offer yourselves, there you will offer to sell yourselves to your enemies. See, there you will offer to sell yourselves to your enemies. Exactly. However y'all want to flip it, it's us, man. We were sold into slavery. Y'all want to change to say we going to sell ourselves, but that's exactly what the Israelites still doing. Either way you flip it. Selling themselves. What? Selling their soul. Casting away thy bowels. Selling yourself for naught, for nothing. Transgressing for a piece of bread. Sinning for a small matter. Trying to gain the whole world, but losing your own soul, man. He said, you gotta go tap dance. You gotta go, there you will offer to sell yourselves to your enemies as slaves, but no one will buy you. I was gonna play this video of Dave Chappelle, but I can't find it, man. It's a part on the stand-up he did when he was basically talking to little so-called black boys. He was like, you better You better dance. You better dang basketball. You better do something, nigga. You screwed, nigga. You blah blah blah. I forget what stand up it was, but you know. So however y'all want to flip it, and you see it took it actually like cut him in his mind when he heard what he was saying. Tony Dungy, that is, because he's saying you gotta go. Basically, you gotta go sell yourself. You meaning because he knew what he meant was you gotta go do the most. You should have, and he know it don't even make sense based off what he had just said. They supposed to come see who they want. How the hell I'm gonna go sell myself to somebody that don't want me? If the how it goes is laid out. I can't go to the Jets. Hey Jets, come take me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you could, but how you just laid it out to go, it don't go like that. So it's just lies. These are the puppets. You're gonna see a lot of this. You're gonna see a lot of Jakes try to sell out. That's being confirmed. That's gonna be confirmed before everybody to have truly sold out, and it ain't gonna work, man. These people made a covenant with death, and you're seeing it. It's all through the Bible. That was my whole point with this.
Mind, you have 15 minutes to sit with the guys and you want to find out about them. And then
Who's the teams?
guys you're really interested in, you're going to go on campus or you're going to get somewhere and talk to them and interview with them. Shador didn't talk to everybody. And that to me was a mistake, number one. And then number two, you have to go sell yourself and you have to make people comfortable with you. I can remember we drafted Dallas.
Makes sense. How I'm gonna go out of my way, cold approach you, right, and make you comfortable with me.
Clark in the first round, and we flew him in that night, and he was the most surprised person in the world because he said, "Coach, I have to."
And this where the coolness start. He come bring his example.
Make people comfortable with you. I can remember we drafted Dallas Clark in the first round, and we flew him in that night. And he was the most surprised person in the world because he said, "Coach, you talked to me for 15 minutes at the combine. You never asked me one question about football. All you asked about was my family and growing up and what I wanted to do after football's over. I thought you were just blowing me off." I said, "Dallas, that's what I wanted to find out. If you're going to be a great teammate, if you're going to be a Colt personality, that's what teams want to know. And that's what they want to figure out, Rod."
Everybody on the planet know that's in the football, sports, college football knows exactly who these people are. They done put their lives on TVs, on the internet. This man's dad is Deion Sanders. All he does is play football, which everyone was able to see for free on TV. So for you to say this, it just shows like Jake just don't got no testimony, man. Jake ain't got no fucking man. It's just. I'm gonna just get this last scripture because I'm really just like I said I can give a dang less about this whole Shador shit. Like they're not in the truth. It's just the fact of the matter is what it is that's said to be going on all the way around every day is what's going on, and you continuously seeing so many aspects of all of this just within this one situation. That's all. That's it. You know. So I'm going to get this so you can clearly see these sellouts for what they are. This is Jeremiah 9. I'm going to let dude speak first. All right? And then I'm going to end it.
Wow.
Find out if you're going to be a great teammate, if you're going to be a Colt personality. That's what teams want to know, and that's what they want to figure out, Rod.
Wow.
And if it still don't make sense because it's still puppeteering, it's still damage control, because why would any of this matter over and over and over, once again, if he wasn't first round talent to begin with? Some people saying if it's Deion wasn't his dad, they wouldn't even be talking about this guy. He was just trash. This dude had over 4,000 pass yards, completed above 73% of his passes, 74% of his passes, and y'all sit here constantly talking about somebody that y'all says with those stats is trash. He's not good enough. Like the last Edomite said, he just, let's face it, people hyped him up for what he is. So why y'all keep trying to figure out why he slipped if he wasn't good enough? Because it's damage control, and these are puppets, man. It's right in your face. These moms have sold they soul to be approved in front of the white man's eyes. All this shit, slavery, man. All of it. At the end of the day. And they trying to smile and tell you it's not. And that's the goddamn issue. And everybody that speak up and say something, any little bit of truth, they goddamn outcasted. They get ostracized. Kyrie, all of them, man, they ban them.
Is this so? What's the question overall, Jack? Just what do you think happened, Rod?
They push our people to not have backbones and be in sin, and that's why we not here for that shit, man. Us, the men the Lord set up, we ain't here from that.
George Sanders, what do you think happened?
Now look at this.
Wow. Is this so? What's the question?
Teams want to know, and that's what they want to figure out, Rod.
Wow. Is this so? What's the question overall, Jack? Just what do you think happened, Rod? Take Shador Sanders. What do you think happened?
See, this is not a genuine question. Dude is literally setting them up, man. They were set up and put to the test. You know what I'm saying? You have to show your allegiance, man. You have to.
It's toothless.
You on that level. That's what happens when you Jake wanna goddamn go and get on that level. And then a lot of them still had the nerve to say they believe in the Messiah. You know? Well, once you hit a certain plateau of taking care of yourself and trying to make sense in this world, you enter sellout range. You end up in compromising yourself range. Dangerous area, man. When all this shit dangerous to begin with. But when you hit that level, yeah, you're in that area. You know? You're in the deep end. This is 1 Timothy 6:7. For we brought nothing, let me jump to the point. Yeah, for we brought nothing into this world, and it's certain we can carry nothing out. Right? And having food and raiment, let us therewith be content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and into a snare, see, a trap. Because in order to get the riches, you got to go deep into the matrix. The true riches that most people want, you got to go deep into the matrix. And within that is traps. Within that is set up for the devil to get the souls of the Israelites, the minds, the hearts, and the abilities, the use of the Israelites for his own bidding, for his own doing, you know, and get your ass completely like he was trying to get Job to do, to go off and sin before the Lord. He said, all will a man give for his life. See that? He'll give you up, Lord, for him, over him. See that? But Job didn't do that. Job represents the elect, but the majority of our people aren't the elect. They sellouts, they puppets, and they use for damage control like these dudes. But because why? They want to be rich. But they that will fall into temptation, and they snare, meaning a trap. It says, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. Things they want that's going to end up hurting them and realize to be foolish and never worth it in the beginning, because in the reality of what it cost them, it was a horrible trade-off. You know, it was a piece of bread. The shit you would sell yourself short for, the shit you would compromise yourself for, you would break God's codes for, would be for nothing. Because America going to end. These people are liars. You know, money make itself wings and fly away. You know, it wasn't worth it. You sitting here looking like a sellout in front of all your people. You know, that shit wild, bro. That job not cool. But this is what Jake do. You know, I'm going to end it in that Jeremiah 9, like I said. It says, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men. See? Like the deep end, I said, and destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, not getting money, but the love of money. You desiring the net of wicked men. What does it mean when it says the net? The net is talking about everything that they collect. Like when you fishing, you throw the net out and you get everything you get. So basically, Jake want everything the white man got from his net. It don't matter what it is, he just want his net. But what is this filled with? Crap, blood on his hands and all that. They don't care. They idiots. It says, which while some coveted after, they have erred, see that, from the faith. Right, because a compromise is within, like, it's only so high you go up before you run into Satan himself. You know? You don't want to do too much, man. You know? So what do you think, right, is the pinnacle of being somebody in America? Wouldn't it be this? The pinnacle of for so-called black people, Israelites. Wouldn't it be this? Football in America. By told to you from some nigga from Chicago and some other old nigga from wherever the hell he from. You know? So-called. It says, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. But thou, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness. All money ain't good money. So you got some money that is good, you know? But everything that's lawful ain't expedient. So though you can get it, that don't mean you should. Because it might be out of season. It might not match where you at. You know? It might throw off the season you in. So we're going to stay away from it. We just go after what's right, if it's right, and keep it about that. It says, flee these things and follow after righteousness. If it's going to have me compromise myself, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not doing it. I'll quit. It says godliness or never sign up to begin with. Godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. You got to fight. Fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life whereunto thou art called and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. All right? This is a good job. That's Jake's problem. They want everybody to know they got a goddamn job. You know? People didn't even know the Lord was moving around when he was moving around half the time. You know? People didn't know people didn't know how the Lord was paying his bills, but he was getting them paid. That's Jake's goddamn problem.
It's toothless.
Me away.
Oh, you gotta see this.
Epic Universe, only at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because this pushing a crab, what this pushes is, in this here, this pushes a crab from out of the barrel mentality continuously to our people. Because here it is, they're coming together like, look, we got to keep the code. It's a code you got to have in this NFL. You can't just come here and disrespect the people. You know, yeah, he didn't talk to everybody, but we heard he disrespected some teams. And since you disrespected that team, you can't come to my team. So it's a code they saying you got to honor. It's something we got to stand for, you know, when it comes to us being basically an allegiance, an alliance. We need to make an alliance and come together and say this ain't right. We can't let nobody come in here trying to, you know, do this and do that we don't approve of. But here it is, they doing that. But when it comes to Jake doing that for themselves, for their own people, for their own kind, they don't do it. They do not do it. So that's why it says when you read Exodus 1, they built for Pharaoh, Ramses, these great cities. They built it for him, not for you. You go fucking goddamn fill a bag with holes. You labor, but you have not enough. You labor for meat that perish because they come and eat it up. You give it right to them. So this is another reason why this place gonna fall and why majority of our people not gonna make it, because they are part of the reason why we can't be a nation.
I think. So what's the
reality? That's what teams want to know, and that's what they want to figure out, Rod.
Wow.
Is this? So what's the question overall, Jack? Just
what do you think happened, Rod? Take Shedeur Sanders. What do you think happened?
I think you just look at him and his team just didn't handle everything the right way. I guess they thought that he was going to be a top 5 pick, top 10 pick, and just the way he conducted himself. When I heard that he turned down interviews, that's when everything changed for me. Because as a young man, all the people that you interview with, eventually down the line, you're going to have to interact with those guys. They're going to be general managers and personnel directors for other teams and stuff like that. Just take the time, give yourself an opportunity, like you said, Coach, to sell yourself to these people. And when he started turning down, to me, that showed a level of that showed I'm too good.
Like who he talking to ain't of the people. This the NFL on NBC. Full of shit, bro.
To talk to these teams. And after that, my whole perspective changed on him. And that's what went down. He thought that he was better than what he was. Now he's a 5th round pick, just like me. He's got to get it out the dirt, Jack.
He does have to get it out the dirt, and he's going to also have to beat out 4 or 5 quarterbacks. You know,
See that? That's all they do. And Jake fall for debate every time, man. Y'all ain't grown. Y'all babies. This is Jeremiah 9 in this here. This is Jeremiah 9:1. Oh, that my head were waters and my eyes a fountain of tears, right? That I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Like, it ain't enough crying and complaining you can do for the amount of catastrophe, just devastation, and just damn shame situations we find ourselves in and acting out. You know, it says, "Oh, that I had in the wilderness a place, a lodging place. Oh, that I had in the wilderness. Wish I had a cabin out in the wilderness somewhere where nobody could get to, right? A lodging place of wayfaring man, right? That I might leave my people and go from them, for they all be adulterers and assembly of treacherous men." When they come together, it's always for wicked shit. You see, when you majority of the time you gonna see them so-called black people together, it's for some wicked shit. It's for some shit that don't make sense. It ain't never for nothing righteous. You know, that's the majority of the time, right? And they bend their tongue like their bow, right, for lies. You know? So they willing to go to war, you know, for lies. Stand up for lies. Go to back for lies. You know, defend lies. Defend themselves in the form of a lie. So keep their lives, keep their livelihood by lying. You know what I'm saying? And living a lie. It says, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. You know, they willing to fight you if you, man, that's what they did with Yahushua. Yahushua came and was starting a damn revolution basically through the spirit. You know, and the Pharisees was mad because he was going to stop them from having their jobs. So Jake don't like anybody that comes and disrupts the what's the word I'm looking for? Just basically the system that's in place, because it's they faithless ass to them is how they eating. It's how they gonna survive. And it made them somebody over everybody, you know, which they wanted through them being wicked. And that's all they care about, because their self-esteem is low as hell. To where if they don't have that, they not nothing. You know? So they willing to go against anything, fight. They murder Yahushua so they can keep their stuff. These the same people, man. It says, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. They punks, sissified. It says, for they proceed from evil to evil. You ain't say, man, I ain't getting into that. Ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what? He's drafted now. It's done. It's over with. Let's get the, he messed up. Let the kid, they don't do that shit. It says, for they proceed from evil to evil. You would think Shadora keep calling in, like talking mess, which is how much they keep talking about this. It says, for they proceed from evil to evil. See that? And they know not me, saith the Lord. This is an NLT. My people bend their tongue like bows. They shoot out lies. They refuse to stand up for the truth. They only go from bad to worse. They do not know me. It says, beware of your neighbor. Don't even trust your brother. See that? For brother takes advantage of brother. And friend slanders friend. And that's what the media are. They all fool and defraud each other. No one tells the truth. With practiced tongues, they tell lies. See, PR. It's displaying the system you see right before your eyes. It says they wear themselves out with all their sinning. And they go home, get some yak, get some cognac, and they goddamn drink their miseries and try to, lies away. Go smile in the damn, mirror, goddamn, but they hate themselves. They can't stomach what they doing. And they cover it up with money, suits, and funky ass cologne, perfume. Go line they goddamn big ass, stressed out, foggy heads up. So that's it. I'm gonna say call on Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakakodash. Hey, the Lord, he see this, and you just gotta know, man. All right, so puppets, all for damage control, So call on Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Shalom, man.